Well, everyone, that sure was a movie. I just watched Descendants, The Rise of Red once with my family, and I have mixed thoughts about it. The scenario was honestly kind of funny because many young kids were jumping with joy as they were singing. Their parents were pretending to watch it, and I was just staring at the TV with a pencil and a notebook like a loser. All jokes aside, I guess I have to make this review at least a little professional, so I'm gonna start it off with the introduction. Descendants: The Rise of Red picks off shortly after the events of the third movie. The original villain kids are off doing side quests, I'm serious, so they set Uma in charge. Because she's impulsive, she decides to release the kids of Queen of Hearts and Cinderella to Auradon. So because they come to Auradon, they set up a whole celebration sort of thing and bring their parents. And why did Uma let Queen of Hearts go to Auradon? Don't ask. Well, obviously, the Queen of Hearts tries to steal and she actually conquers Auradon. The daughter of the Queen of Hearts, Red, goes back in time with Cinderella's kid Chloe to fix it. Okay, so I'm gonna make a spoiler-free review / short opinion on it right now if you want to watch the movie out of curiosity. After that, I'll get to a spoiler review and also talk about my critiques with it. Alright, spoiler-free part starting now. Descendants 4 was a generally good movie. As I'm writing this, I'm still thinking about whether I like most parts of it or not, but as of now, the movie is pretty entertaining. It actually doesn't follow the main cast, so it allows a new set of characters to be the star of the show, that being Red and Chloe. Most of the songs were good or at least tolerable, so don't think it'll be a constant song fest like Descendants 3. The two new characters I just mentioned are actually endearing and get a good bit of growth, so although it's a small main cast, it's actually really good. If you have any intrigue whatsoever in watching it, then please go do it, with no expectations, that is, and you'll be pleasantly surprised by it. 6 out of 10. Okay, and that's all I've got to say, so the spoiler part is coming in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so first off I'm going to start with the plot. The plot of the movie is like they actually took their time in the beginning and then it went into a slow-mo nosedive. Okay, so the start of the movie was actually really promising. The beginning took its time and introduced the characters very well. The Queen of Hearts' daughter, Red, is introduced vandalizing propaganda of her mother, which is very interesting and shows how rebellious she is. Queen of Hearts is cold and treats her daughter like she's underperforming all the time, which is a nice way to show how condescending she is. The list goes on and on, but I don't want to make the video long, so I'm gonna stop here. The introductions of the new characters take up about the first 20 minutes of the movie, which is actually a really good thing. 20 minutes in an hour-and-a-half movie for the beginning is very well paced. Now for the middle. The middle is actually mostly boring because they beat around the bush trying to get to the end, and they don't evolve the previous themes set up in the beginning, like mother issues and redemption. The middle takes around an hour plus minutes to introduce the younger versions of the villain kids and what they did when they were younger. But I actually have a really huge problem with that, and here's the thing. I don't like how important the villain kids' parents are when we already know who they are from the original trilogy. Like, let me give you a few examples. We learn that Ursula's original name is Uliana, and I don't care. The son of Ursula's little sister is in her group, and I don't care because he isn't in the movie apart from the clips of her in the past. We learn Maleficent and Hades dated in high school, and oh my god, I don't... You get what I mean? It just kind of drags on and you don't really care. The clips where they show the past of Cinderella and the Queen of Hearts are more important, so we don't need the VK parents to appear as much as they actually do. It's like the most important secondary characters were tertiary. Alright, and this is my last main issue about the movie, but it's very long, so yeah. The ending is around 15 minutes and it's underdeveloped as fuck. So to summarize it, Ursula's group decided to play a prank on her by making her look ugly at prom by putting a spell on her. They learned the spell by reading a book of the principal. The Queen of Hearts became evil because they made her look ugly at prom. That is the most Disney Channel thing I've ever heard in my life. So, Red and Chloe take the book, which means that Queen of Hearts never got that prank played on her. It's a little paradoxical, but I was expecting an ending like that, so it doesn't really matter to me. So they go back to present day with the pocket watch, and yay, the queen is all good now. Everyone is happy. Not me. Let's rewind a bit. In a prior scene, Red peers into her world with a mirror and shows that the queen killed Cinderella. No matter what, that action literally makes no fucking sense. Cinderella never did anything bad to the queen. Oh wait, never mind, that scene exists so that Chloe can separate with the main character. Because every Disney movie needs the main duo to separate for some reason. And oh, that leads to her talking to her mom, which allows them to sing! Yay! We definitely needed more songs. Literally, the character separation lasts for about 3.5 minutes. It has zero meaning at all. Unironically, this ending actually ruins the Queen's character for me. The Queen was endearing because you always wondered what her deal was, and then you learn it's that they just made her look ugly at prom. That just makes her sound whiny and unlikable because of it. This is the worst part. At the end of it, the Queen is super nice now, and because of it, she gets no repercussions for any of the horrible stuff she did, like killing Cinderella and controlling Auradon, because it technically didn't happen. Okay then, movie, let's put this into consideration. If the Queen did nothing, then so did the villains, technically, or Cinderella herself. Nothing built up in the beginning even matters because Red and Chloe fixed it all by the end of the movie. Everything was resolved. The only thing that technically happened was the 2 new kids were in Auradon. That's it. The perspective of every character beside the main characters is just that their kids got into Auradon. And why wouldn't Chloe and Red even be in Auradon immediately after? Because why? It doesn't make sense. Like, if the Queen of Hearts was nice now, why was she not allowed in Auradon? Why did they have to do the whole ceremony thing? Shouldn't she just be immediately spawned back into Auradon? It's so stupid. That underdeveloped concept of an ending is 15 minutes long. You can tell that the talented people were rushed to push out a corporate project to continue this mutilated franchise. But I mean, this was made by Disney, so that checks out. And no matter what, although I'm doing all this critiques, this is just the negative, although I actually have a lot of positive for this movie, which I might actually end up doing a video on later. And no matter what, I'm actually kind of glad this movie's getting a sequel. Uma teased 2 things at the end of the sequel. One is that there would be a sequel, and 2 is that she hinted that Red might have consequences because she messed with the fabric of time. Kinda think of it as Descendants' prequel trilogy. I'm honestly hyped just for that as an idea. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on Descendants 4. Right now it's just a good concept and an okay performance of a 4th film, but I really hope they don't fumble the bag that poorly. So yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say, and I don't know, don't forget to wear a seatbelt. Bye bye.